Welcome to Gym Bag Talk Podcast. I am your host, Ben, joined by the always lovely and semi-beautiful today, Vasiliy.
How's it going?
Good.
Man, this has been a while.
It's been a while.
2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Illness, vacation, birthday.
Yeah, no, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks from tomorrow will be last podcast. Man, a lot's happened.
A lot has happened.
A lot. We're talking about a lot. Zion's playing right now in front of us. That's kind of cool. Hasn't done much.
Just like the Seahawks and the Packers game.
Oh, man. It's crazy the Super Bowl's coming up, and obviously we haven't talked about that Seahawks-Packers game, but
before we move over there, I really want to say, thank you for walking back off that bridge there in the Seahawks game. The reason why we didn't do a podcast last week was Vasiliy was restrained. He, got close to a cliff edge, wanted to walk off. Some police officer named Joe walked him off. Taking those meds now? Feeling better?
Yeah, they gave me Adderall. Helps me focus. Getting all A's so far. But yeah, I feel a lot better, It's called Brookside Addiction Medicine for those who are addicted to sports. No, in all reality, I was more depressed when the Packers got smacked by the 49ers this last weekend. And it's like, man, really? That's what Aaron Rodgers did against the 49ers? Like, why weren't we there? It hurts. Jimmy Garoppolo threw the ball 8 times, and they still won 37-20.
The Seahawks game against the Packers was just the first half. We were literally just on the couch twiddling our thumbs, going
bored. The pizza in front of me was the best thing about it. Shout out to Max,
hosting that abysmal party.
Oh man,
it's only abysmal because of the game.
So it was 21-3 at the end of the half, and we're sitting there like, all right, this is typical Seahawks fashion. It's not going to end well, and somehow the Seahawks get it to within 28-23, driving, and then you get that drop pass by Malik Turner, and then Russell Wilson gets sacked. I think they made the right move by not going for it on 4th down, because chances are you're not going to A, get it on a 4th and 12, and B, you're probably going to give up another score. So a good move by the Seahawks there. A loss is a loss. It sucks, but looking at things hindsight right now, the Seahawks weren't supposed to be where they were at all. We did not have them as an 11-5 team making it to the divisional round of the playoffs at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it literally seemed like we were just rolling the dice and we were getting lucky each and every time.
Yeah, I know it was. It was like, okay, we're 1-0, then we're 1-1, then we're 2-1, we're 3-1, 4-1, and it's like, oh, this might go somewhere,
Yeah, and then obviously someone's gonna be like, well, that was a terrible call where the
referee didn't call pass interference.
There was that one call where the guy obviously didn't have a first down.
In the Packers, yeah.
But it's like,
it was too close to tell.
Yeah.
Very close. And you could look at it different angles and stuff, but I'm happy with what Seattle did in the season, It was supposed to be another rebuilding year, which is weird because the Seahawks did make the playoffs the year before. Lost to the Cowboys in the first round. But here, we actually made it to the playoffs, and we won a game in the playoffs. So that's obviously an improvement. You obviously did better. You obviously want more. But, the Seahawks have almost everyone coming back. They have the 6th highest amount of cap room in the league in this offseason. I was even reading an article earlier today. They were saying maybe the Seahawks make a run at Derrick Henry this year in the offseason. Ooh. Obviously, you have Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, but they've been pretty unreliable. And for a team that runs the ball like the Seattle Seahawks do, maybe you take a look at a 6'6" giant monster from Alabama. And no, I'm not talking about that guy. Who you were thinking about.
Bubba.
There you go.
So the 49ers are going to be playing the Chiefs for the Super Bowl.
Who you got?
Got a 49ers.
I think so too. I think they're way too dominant on the defensive side of the ball. And offensive side of the ball, they're going to hit you with whatever you want. Whether it's a 46-45 game against the New Orleans Saints, or it's a 9-0 game against the Washington Redskins in a monsoon. They figure out ways to win.
Yeah, and you got to contribute to the first LGBTQ coach.
Kyle Shanahan?
Nah, I don't even know. It just Bleacher Report's blowing up my phone. I really don't care who they're coaching.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, the commercials and everything. I get it. I don't care. I don't think anyone cares. But
Bleacher Report does some pretty suspicious stuff sometimes.
Yeah, it's suspicious. My heart says Chiefs. I love Patrick Mahomes, but my head says
I hate the Niners. I hate the 49ers with all my heart. I hate their colors. I hate where they're from. I hate who they are. You know, it's a rivalry. You don't like the 49ers. But having that said, if we are going to go for the Chiefs, they do have a good shot.
They do.
They did stop Derrick Henry, held him to 70 yards rushing on 20 carries. That Patrick Mahomes looked unstoppable.
The way they came back in that game.
Especially the Texans game. Oh, dear God. And then they did it again against the Titans. You know, it wasn't 24 points. It was 10, but comeback's a comeback. And I don't know. I took a look at the odds and I saw that it was slight, but San Francisco's an underdog and it was a 1-point underdog. So, I mean, pick your poison. It's a toss-up, whoever you kind of want. But there was a stretch, and this is the truth. From ages 10 to 17, I got the Super Bowl winner right. And I am not kidding. I can name them right now. After the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl, it was the Steelers over the Cardinals. It was the Packers over the Steelers. It was the Colts over the Bears. The Saints over the Ravens. The Ravens over the Niners. The Seahawks over the Broncos. And I basically messed up when the Seahawks lost to the Patriots. Yeah.
And how have you been since then?
Who won it last year? The Patriots. Yeah, I wanted the Patriots to win. I didn't want the Rams to win at all. It's that 49er syndrome, you know?
Yeah.
Same thing. Who was in the year before? Patriots, no. It was Patriots. They beat the Atlanta Falcons, and I wanted the Falcons to win. So that's where I messed up.
All right. Well, I guess Chiefs are winning this year.
We'll see. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a Super Bowl for the ages, I think.
For sure.
I think this is the best matchup we could possibly have. I'm pumped.
You have one of the best offensive teams going against one of the best defensive teams, running and passing. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you couldn't really dream of a better matchup. So I'm pumped. It'll be a good game.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to talk about the Oregon Ducks a little bit? I got some news.
Basketball or football? Football. What news you got?
So, a lot of the Oregon Ducks are coming back for next year. You know, Justin Herbert isn't, but we do have 3 5-star recruits coming.
Yeah. And a couple of 4-star quarterbacks as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what direction they're heading with the quarterbacks, who they're looking at.
So I've heard a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
I heard, and I think we watched a couple of games even. I think there was that one game where I bet on Houston to lose, and they were playing Louisiana or something. And we were freaking out over here. Houston's quarterback only played 4 games this season and decided to redshirt the rest of the year so he can play as a super senior next year, you know, a 23-year-old senior. So he's in the running, or there's been a lot of, you know, kind of rumors flowing around there that he's coming to Oregon.
Interesting.
So that could be their if they decide to go that route, it's not the worst route to do. The Wake Forest quarterback, I can't think of his name right now, but I did see there was a Bleacher Report article out that he has already chosen Oregon, but then he kind of whiffed everyone and went to Georgia.
Okay.
So
Jamie Newman.
Yes, that is the man. Same kind of deal. And I believe the Houston quarterback is De'Aaron King. And that'd be a great place to go. We do have Tyler Schuff still coming up in the ranks. Played a little bit this year, and he looked great. I don't think the 4-star quarterbacks are going to start unless they really prove themselves. And, you know, a lot of 4-star quarterbacks go on to play in the NFL because they kind of overlooked. But the Ducks should be in national championship contention next year.
Oh, for sure. You know, what was the one saving grace about the Oregon Ducks, though? Their defense, right?
And they're all coming back.
Yeah, and we're getting 3 5-star recruits.
And they happen to be linebackers.
Yeah.
Exactly where we're losing Lamar Winston and Troy Dye. So the Ducks look poised to make a run, man.
So these are the 3 guys who committed as our linebackers. We have Dante Mannings, Justin Flo, or Floe, and then Noah Sewell. So
Dante Manning is a stud. I was watching him in the Senior Bowl for high school, and the guy was almost playing like a slot corner / linebacker role, and he was all over the field. Just absolute monster. And you pair that with Kayvon Thibodeau up top, a guy who really only blossomed at the end of this year, who could be a number 1 pick next year. That's gonna be insane.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait till college football comes back because there's so much I want to see the Oregon Ducks accomplish.
Exactly, yeah.
And, you know, it'd be great if, we made it to a Rose Bowl, but if we make it to college playoffs, this coming football season.
And the Ducks play Ohio State this year.
Yeah.
That's insane. And they play also North Dakota State, which might not sound like a big school, but they've won the FCS championship 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Carson Wentz went to school. This is kind of like that community college that has all those white boys that are really good and kind of, they're tough.
They're like you have option A or option B, and you're like, option A is good. This is what my dad would want me to bring home.
Well, now, the perfect example of what they are, you have those 6A and 5A schools in Oregon. Your Clackamas, your Lake Oswego's, your Milwaukee's, your inner city schools, and you have those 1A Christian schools who all win a championship every single year because they happen to have that one black kid, that's really good. This is those people. Okay. So Oregon should smack them still 56-5, but the kid might score 5 points on you.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and then we talked a little bit earlier over text about Justin Herbert. We can't talk about Justin Herbert forever, but he is an Oregon Duck alumni.
A 4-year Oregon Duck, Not a lot of people do that. Marcus Mariota did, obviously, came back to school.
Yeah, and we should talk about Marcus Mariota when we get to the NFL segment. But Justin Herbert, he's at the practice for the Senior Bowl, looking really good. Apparently, he's almost breaking records.
Throwing the ball faster than it's ever been thrown records.
Yeah.
That's insane.
The second for that and second for twist rate on the ball.
Also, how fast the ball's spinning.
Yeah. So supposedly, they say the faster it spins, that means the more accurate it will be in adverse weather.
You would think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, bullets.
Because putting a spin on a football is pretty tough.
Yeah.
To get it to spin as fast as you want with the laces.
So if I remember right, the guy who has record has 700 RPMs.
Per minute? Oh my goodness.
Justin Herbert, second place, 518.
Man, who's first place? I want to know this. Was it this year? It was, what's his name from? Jalen Hurts.
It might have been Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Man, Herbert looks good. We took a look at the mock draft earlier today, and we saw that number one is most likely 100% going to be Joe Burrows.
And where is that dude going to end up?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Rest in peace.
And Cincinnati's not the worst franchise. They did have success with Andy Dalton, Carson Palmer back in the day. By the way, this movie, really good. We have a screen popping up here for Bad Boys 3. I don't know if have you seen the first two?
Watched the first two.
This is just as good.
Really?
Just usually I don't you've seen Shrek 1, 2, and 3, and those are all really good. But that's never happened again in history of movies where the first, second, third one's good. Bad Boys definitely happen again. Anyway, back to Justin Herbert, the original bad boy. It's all about going to the right team. And Cincinnati may or may not be, the best of all time. But number 2, I believe, was Detroit. Number 3, we have, was it Miami?
I can pull it
Miami's 5. Los Angeles is 6.
No. Yeah.
And Washington Redskins were at 3. And those are all teams that kind of still need a quarterback. Right now, mock drafts have Justin Herbert going at 6 to Los Angeles Chargers, which I would more than love him to go there. I mean, that's already a championship team he just walks into.
Yeah. So it's weird. I use Tankathon as my draft go-to. Tankathon.com. They do football and NHL. They do baseball, but I primarily use it for basketball.
Sports, right? Basketball. Yeah.
But they have an NFL one. And they have him going to the Chargers as well. But on other drafts, he goes all the way to 20th pick to the Patriots.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
So, if
Justin Herbert fell to the Patriots, Lord, that would be... I mean, that's if Bill Belichick hangs around, Tom Brady, whatever, They have a whole dilemma going on as well. I think a lot matters. Teddy Bridgewater and former Oregon Duck Marcus Mariota are going to be sought after. And free agency happens before the NFL draft does. So if Teddy Bridgewater goes to Miami, if Marcus Mariota goes to Miami, well, then maybe they don't draft Justin Herbert. If one of them goes to the Chargers, if one of them goes to the Redskins, things can change. But I do believe that number 6, I will be sitting at the edge of my seat hoping Justin Herbert gets drafted.
Yeah, we should have a watch party for that.
Isn't it April? I believe it's in April in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's April 23rd and 24th.
So I actually saw that the NFL draft is going to be... They're doing it in Las Vegas, and this started recently where they started hosting in a different city. Last year it was in Nashville.
Ooh.
And the whole street was flooded. This not Bourbon Street, their main street was flooded all the way down. And this year they're doing it on the Bellagio water in front of the Bellagio hotel. And we were just there, a couple days ago, and I saw a picture of it as soon as we left. I'm like, wow, that's going to be insane. So apparently the players are going to get on a little boat, like a little platform that's going to carry them when they get drafted to the main stage. And they're shutting down the whole strip for it.
That's crazy.
It's going to be nuts. And it takes for just one block to get down the strip, it takes 10 minutes. With that kind of traffic, the whole city's going to be shut down.
Wow.
But yeah, I believe it's in April.
All those casinos are opening up their walls and having the money drop in by a bucket.
Oh, I am sure that's going to be one of the busiest weekends. And
yeah, you just mentioned you were in Vegas. How's that Raider Stadium looking like?
It looks beautiful. It was all black. They were bidding another hotel right next to it, and that's all black as well. And Vegas is a pretty colorful city, but you just have this black hotel with the Raiders logo coming up, and oh man, I can't wait to see when it's fully done. It was really nice.
The things I've seen in the mock-ups and what they say about it, it literally might be the stadium for a century.
No, exactly. It looks really nice, and I think Vegas is a really cool sports town. Even the Golden Knights, people really aren't into hockey like they used to be, and you go down to Vegas just to watch the Golden Knights play a couple of times. It's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting, and just have a football team down there, man. Sundays are gonna be a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, and especially in such a gambling focused area.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
All right. Antonio Brown is kind of in some trouble right now.
Man, the dude is just. Have you seen? There's Aaron Hernandez. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. There's a new Netflix documentary about the murders that he committed. I got for the first episode, but do you want to explain a little bit more?
Yeah. So Aaron Hernandez was a football player. Got drafted with Rob Gronkowski in the same draft, and won a Super Bowl with Rob Gronkowski a year after.
With the Patriots.
Long story short, he ended up committing not just a murders, life sentence in jail, and killed himself about a week into jail. Committed suicide, not sure how. But there's a documentary, very interesting. And, I don't want to be obviously every person's different, but Antonio Brown is kind of showing those same signs of discontent and throwing stuff at police officers and slapping them on the butt. And obviously he's not being violent, but that was OBJ that slapped.
Yeah, that was my next point.
Goodness. Yeah, you saw that video.
Yeah.
That's so bad of me to get them confused, but there's a lot of this crap going on in the NFL, and you have to bring up the argument of, is it the head trauma?
Yeah, I mean, you watch the guy and you're like, this guy is so irrational, but then again, to make it to that level of sports, I mean, one of the greatest in it, I mean, there has to be something that makes you click different. You have to have that hyper aggression. Some people know how to turn it off. Some people.
But you do. I mean, the amount of beating your body takes. We had Luke Kuechly just retire at 27 years old. One of the greatest linebackers to ever do it, because he just can't do it anymore. He can't wake up after a game. He can't. It hurts too much, And, you see a lot of cases in the NBA. We never see domestic violence cases. We never see, domestic abuse or.
There's Kobe out there, and then
Kobe did it. First of all, it's hidden. Kobe did it. A strong believer in that. But in the NFL, it's every other week, dude.
It really is. But the NBA. I'm glad you mentioned it. The NBA does have a tragic story going about right now. Delonte West.
Right,
the guy who played for the Celtics. There was a video that came out where a cop is recording him. He just got beat up, and he's obviously not in the right state of mind. And there's a new coalition within the NBA to get this guy some help. NBA players are offering him to go to rehab, or they're just trying to help him out.
He was a baller back in the day, and apparently slept with LeBron's mom as well. I wonder if LeBron's... That's a true story. True story. He literally slept with LeBron's mom.
Don't blame him, man.
Well, Ben's getting his pants back on. That definitely happened. And the videos of Delonte West on the street, he looks like a bum.
He does, and
he looks like he's straight from downtown Portland.
I mean, most people from Portland in general look like this, but
yeah.
They're high functioning people though.
What did Antonio Brown get in trouble for? Was it battery of a police officer?
He threw a rock at a moving van and then tried to fight the guy.
Goodness. Well, I guess I'm sorry for comparing him to Aaron Hernandez, because Aaron Hernandez literally didn't want to pay a tip at a bar and shot a guy up in his car right after.
Oh my god.
So I mean,
but okay, let's move on from Antonio Brown. Let's talk about the real animal in the NFL, Odell Beckham.
I can't stand the guy. And maybe this is a whole thing of where you give millions to guys who don't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. But when you're giving college students $500, $600, $700, $800 while there's a camera on you, and while that same camera's on you, you slap a police officer on the butt, like, and
not even like a playful tap, like a
there was fingers
wind up. Yeah, and the cop,
like, that was
the cop head launches up. He's like, "Whoa."
Yeah. Like,
this
do it again, but
this ain't middle school, and you're not my gym teacher. What's going on here?
It's crazy. Like, these dudes, and the NFL season is so short. You have three months, and then 9 months you're a millionaire who can do whatever you want.
You know what they really need to do? They need to take a football season and just stretch it out. And have like games be like, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
add 2 more games as well.
Yeah, I mean they're literally just sitting around not doing anything. I never played professional football. Surprise, spoiler. But it literally seems like they're getting into trouble.
And there's a whole thing going on in the NFL right now to add 2 more games, and they're trying to figure it out. I hope they do, because 16 games is not enough. I do get your body goes through a lot. I've never played football. I've never been smacked by a linebacker while carrying a ball. But, at the end of the day, money talks, and 70% of NFL players go broke.
Yeah, and nothing explained it more than after the Seahawks lost, you're rubbing your hands, leaning over the couch, and you're going, well, 9 more months till we see the Seahawks play again.
Yeah, it's we have to wait till September to even hear of preseason football, and that sucks. And I hope they add it. I hope the NBA does the exact opposite, maybe takes a couple of games away. Although I love watching basketball every night, so 82 games isn't the worst thing.
I don't think you and me missed a single Blazers game so far.
Yeah, well, I missed a couple there in Vegas, but the losses to OKC wasn't the worst thing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, on football-related news, Eli Manning's planning to retire this Friday.
Eli Manning was a really big piece of my childhood. Watching him win 2 Super Bowls with the Giants against the Patriots, some of the best moments of my life. And by the way, I did pick him to win. I remember it clearly. My brother and cousin just grilled me. They thought the Patriots were going to win. I'm like, no, the Giants are going to do it. They're going to pull the upset. And little do you know.
Eli Manning is literally like the dad who never stopped partying, though. There's like videos of him in a club. He's like 40 years old.
Yeah.
Gray whiskers, and he's like
just drinking a Coke and rum.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's sitting in the corner, like, not sure if this dude's a creep or if he's here watching over his kid.
Dude looks like Terry Scott's dad.
He
like I like squint at it. I like. I don't know, man.
But there is an argument if he should be in the Hall of Fame or not. And I mean, if you won 2 Super Bowls, I do think that should put you in the Hall of Fame. But he also had a record of 117-117, so 117 losses, 117 wins, which is not the greatest NFL record.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 2 Super Bowl wins, you have highs and lows. I think you should look at the highs a little bit more than the lows, like Michael Jordan's Wizard season.
Yeah, no one talks about him playing for the Washington Wizards, and I think he should be a Hall of Famer. And man, that's obviously they're moving on. Daniel Jones is up and coming in New York.
Yep. Best of luck. Good luck on your car insurance commercials or whatever you're doing.
That's Peyton Manning. I don't know what Eli Manning is doing.
I don't know either. Then.
I don't even know if I've seen him in a commercial, to be honest. We'll Google it later.
My mind is just getting shattered right now. I'm like, what did I say to send him off? Good luck with your commercials. You want to talk about the Blazers right now?
Let's do it, man. A lot to talk about the Blazers. A lot. Where do we start? The trade? Do we start with the losses? Do we start with Dame?
I think we have to start with the trades.
So the Blazers sent
Kent Bazemore and Anthony Tolliver. I know you were really upset about that one.
Cheeks.
To the Sacramento Kings for Trevor Ariza, Wenyen Gabriel, and Caleb Thick Boy Swanigan taking the
He
title.
actually lost some weight.
Yeah, he did.
Did you see the interview?
Yeah, I'm happy.
The chick kind of, I don't know who that was. Chick, you've lost some weight. And he kind of looks like, yeah, I did, honey. And it's kind of like 30 pounds.
Hey,
but where it counts. Yeah, the dude's skinny, man. It's crazy.
I mean, when we were talking about him last time, we were just like, dude.
Yeah. I can't believe we actually got Vasiliy for him. But thoughts on the trade. So obviously we gave up Kent Bazemore and Anthony Tolliver.
We also sent 2 second-round picks, year 2024 and 25.
Which that's where it gets funky. Because whether it's a second-round pick or a first-round pick, picks are valuable. Guys like Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker were drafted in the second round. Draymond Green was drafted in the second round. Rudy Gobert was drafted in the second round. A lot of stars come out of the second round. So you don't just give picks away.
Yeah, and if not a star, you can get more likely a good role player.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with the trade, so obviously giving up Bazemore and Tolliver, my initial thought process, I remember opening the app and seeing it. I saw Blazers trade Bazemore and Tolliver. I'm like, oh my goodness, who we get? And then I see Ariza. And it's like an instant, well, you don't know what to say. And I thought we would get a lot more for Bazemore and Tolliver. Well, I really did.
When I saw that, I was like, okay, we got Trevor Ariza. Okay, his contract was added. Who else did we get? Who's this dude? Caleb Swanigan. We got rid of him.
Yeah, exactly. And so the very first thing that Wash tweeted out was that it was to get under the luxury tax. Obviously, the Blazers still care about money heavily because they're the highest paid team in the freaking NBA. So it did get him under the luxury tax a little bit. The second thing was, okay, we get Trevor Ariza. Hasn't had a better year than Kent Bazemore this year. He's actually been pretty bad with the Kings.
Well, okay, I'm going to take the side that I think Trevor Ariza will definitely help out the team.
I think he's better than Kent Bazemore. I think he's better than Anthony Tolliver. He's been in the league for years. We did not like what we saw at Kent Bazemore in his time in Portland.
No, I mean, we saw and we're like, we're okay with this, but we're not happy with it. Kent Bazemore, he definitely did add a lot of defense to the team, but like a lot of people said, he was too small.
It was like a chicken with his head cut off at times.
Yeah. Trevor Ariza is a 15-year veteran. He won a championship. Trevor Ariza is a big, small forward. He can guard 1 to 4.
And he can shoot. He can play make. And he doesn't need the ball at all times. Neither did Kent Bazemore. But Trevor Ariza is a more well-rounded, smart player, more savvy. Can guard your team's best players, stuff like that. So it's in a basketball playing sense, because that's obviously the first thing that people think about. Hey, is this guy a better basketball player than what we gave up? I think so.
I agree.
I do think so. But at the same time, Sacramento does get that depth to win now with Anthony Tolliver and Kent Bazemore maybe off that bench. Now, from a money standpoint, Trevor Ariza's only guaranteed $1.2 million next year.
1.5, I think.
Wow.
It's just, his contract is $12 million, but only a certain part of that is actually guaranteed. And if we wanted to trade him, we have that fat contract option, that works out, but we're not paying too much for him.
You already know Neil O'Shea is going to come out trade deadline day, and this is whether a Hassan Whiteside trade happens or not, and he's going to say, hey, it was a really tough trade market. A lot of teams were searching for a lot of stuff, and picks were very hard to get, and guys with contracts weren't as valuable. He's going to say all these things. Yeah. We see it every year, and I'm interested to see what else comes out, because obviously we had 2 trades. The Cavs got traded
Dante Exum. And
Utah got Jordan Clarkson for pretty hefty price as well. 2 second-round picks and Dante Exum. That's kind of like us trading Anthony and 2 second-round picks for Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
So that's an option, and we have also had the. I'm blanking on it.
Which team? Because I only remember 2 major trades.
Oh, Jeff T got traded to Atlanta for Travion Graham and Alan Crabb, which That's a pretty nobody trade.
Yeah, it's definitely nobody trade. That trade is setting them up for a future trade for sure.
Exactly. And here we go. I mean, 2 weeks left. Do we trade Hassan Whiteside? We have to. Nurk is almost back.
News came out that Nurk actually had his first full practice, 5-on-5, full shebang, no restrictions. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I still think he's probably 3-4 weeks away, at least the All-Star break. But it gives you hope. It gives you hope for sure. And maybe it changes what's good for the Blazers. They have a game tomorrow against Dallas, and thinking about it, we're gonna have Dame. CJ is gonna be back for that one.
Potentially CJ.
Yeah.
He rolled his ankle during the last Mavs game.
Yeah, which was tough. The Blazers were in it till the end right there, which was a tough loss. And Ariza might shake that starting lineup up a bit, but they're really banking on guys like Gary Trent to come off the bench, Anthony Simons, and I'm really hoping we get to see some of Wenyen Gabriel, because from what I saw, when I've seen him play in college in the NCAA tournament, the guy's a stud. The guy's an all-out athlete.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his NBA stat line, you're like, okay, this guy's the guy who plays garbage time. You know who played garbage time for us? Scal.
Yeah.
And Scal came back this season.
And blossomed.
Yeah. So
I would go out on a limb, and I will say that I think Wenyen Gabriel's overall game is better than Nazir Little's. He can shoot the three a little better. He kind of has that big man kind of shot, and very lengthy, almost Brandon Ingram type.
Okay.
So he has a well-rounded physique, well-rounded game. And maybe, we know something that, other teams didn't, because the guy was an undrafted free agent, signed a two-way contract, signed a full contract, and then got traded. So obviously he's on the come up.
Yeah, I mean, he played in the G League I don't know how long he played, but most of the season for sure was playing the G League, and he's been killing 20 points and 20.
He's been averaging stupid numbers, and
we'll
see.
I straight up think we're doing the Golden State route, except we're a couple months behind them, where they pulled up some G League players and Alex Burke, Pascal, just going off.
I'm gonna say I still hope the Blazers make the playoffs. I want them to, and I hope that some kind of trade still accumulates where we might get a Kevin Love. Where, by the way, Steph's been really quiet about Kevin Love lately. Maybe something's finally.
Oh, for sure, someone's talking about it.
Someone's finally getting something done there. And we make that late season push where we have a Trevor Ariza, Carmelo Anthony as our forwards. If you would have told me a year ago at this time that our forwards are going to be Trevor Ariza and Carmelo Anthony instead of Maurice Harkless and Alfred Camino, sign me up. I would have said sign me up.
You're like, season tickets, please.
Yeah, exactly. Right away. First row. And now it's like, damn, we have that, but the success isn't there. Obviously, it's not Dame's fault. The dude blew up for 61 points against the Warriors. Literally put the Blazers on his back. CJ hasn't played in a while, so the Blazers need a streak, and a streak might not be coming because their schedule is not getting any easier.
So the next 9 games, they're going to be playing against playoff contenders. They're all jockeying for a playoff
all
seat.
Are in a playoff spot currently.
Then we play the Pelicans for our 10th game.
And they're getting smacked right now by San Antonio, but that's still a team that's going full strength.
I mean, I think the Pelicans are 3 or 4 games behind.
Which is not a lot. So people forget, 38 games can happen. A lot can happen. If the Blazers finish 30-8 in those games, we're a 50-win team, for crying out loud. A lot can happen. Seasons can change, and there were some good points, and Damian Lillard is a winner at heart. He wants to win. He doesn't believe in tanking.
Yeah.
As long as he's there, Blazers are going to be fighting for a playoff spot.
Not just Damian. CJ McCollum's that way. Nurk is that way. They always play till the very end. And, it kind of seemed like there was not so many opportunities offensively. And so it kind of seemed like Dame just James Harden did. Yeah,
no. I mean, some of the shots we were taking were really bad shots, but they were all falling, and that's what he needed to do to get a win. So
if there's no answer for the Blazers, do you think that James Harden, a little James Harden may emerge in Portland with Damian Lillard until we have our key players back?
I hope so, because James Harden definitely works in Houston. I wouldn't put Damian Lillard on James Harden's level. I don't know. The Blazers, like I said, they need to get on a winning streak to prove they're for real. Because at the end of the day, Dame and CJ are getting paid max money.
$70 million next year.
Max money. That is how much LeBron and Anthony Davis earn. And you are not. You could still argue that our roster is just as good as the Lakers, but they're 36-10 and we're 20-26.
Mm-hmm.
So on paper, it all looks good. We did our preseason rankings. We looked at teams and we got a good chunk of them right.
I mean, yeah, and we got them in the right places, like ranges and everything. I think the biggest one we got wrong was the Blazers, actually.
Oh, yeah, by far. And the thing is, it wasn't even a bias at that point. I think it was strictly looking at who we have and what we can accomplish. And even right now, I guarantee you, if Rodney Hood with Zach Collins with Yusuf Nurkic back, we'd probably be a top 6 seed in the West.
Like, you and me were texting, and we're like, I don't think if Collins and Nurk was healthy and we were playing right now, I don't think AD and LeBron would scare us at all.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Right now, we don't have an answer. And Nurk said he's only 90% ready. I don't know what he means by 90%. Is he 90% back to full health, 90% in game shape? It really depends what he means by that 90% and what defines it. But if he's going for 5-on-5, I think it might be conditioning game shape.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think maybe that 90%, health-wise, you might be stuck at that 90% for a really long time because you did just break your freaking leg, man. Like, that's tough to come back from. We'll see. Hopefully it is just the conditioning.
Yeah. And, with the Trevor Ariza trade, we did that for cap space and getting underneath the luxury tax.
And we can always trade Trevor Ariza as well. That's a move that's not out of the question, where you combine him with Whiteside and really set yourself up. At this point, I hope we don't, because we do need a forward because all of ours are depleted.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
they just do play Dallas tomorrow, so it'd be nice to get on a 2-game win streak.
I think with this next week, we'll figure out if we're going to tank or not. I thought we were tanking when we made that trade.
In the next 2 weeks, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
In the next 2 weeks, for sure. I agree. And I think it also just matters how Trevor Ariza is going to fit in. Maybe tomorrow he fits in like an all-star.
Yeah. It'd be funny to see if Trevor Ariza came and we're like, oh, this is the answer right here. This is what we needed.
Yeah. With Anthony.
And, Trevor Ariza can supposedly guard the 1-4. And if he can do that for us, that's going to relieve a lot of pressure for us.
With put him on Luka Doncic tomorrow. See what happens.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So, I mean, it's weird because there was been almost no news about him and the other guys joining the team, except if you actually scout and look through, which Portland's a small market team. We're not the Lakers or the Clippers right now.
Right.
But it seems like people like what they bring. Caleb Swanigan, wasn't the hottest guy when he was with the Blazers, but he's a big power forward. We can use him. We have Gabriel here, who's been looking great in the G League.
Like I said, it's a great trade for next year. Especially if you can get Trevor Ariza coming back with Rodney Hood, with Mario maybe, who's looked very bad against the Warriors. It's a great trade for next year. And whatever you got for Whiteside as well.
I wish you didn't mention Mario.
He's been awful.
Oh, man.
He's been awful.
That Golden State Warrior game made me miss Rodney Hood so much. The way that Mario Hezonja guards is like this weird European thing that most Europeans stopped in like the 1920s, where he guards with his hands down, because back then you could only take 2 dribbles and stop moving. So he's like trying to block them off. Didn't realize they can shoot a 3-ball, and
watching Mario Hezonja play basketball is just tough in general. I think he can't do anything well, and for a guy who was drafted in the top 5, yikes. Yikes.
It's tough.
No Luka there.
Other good news: Collins shooting the ball during practice.
So when's his comeback date? March?
Yeah, March 15th.
Oh wow.
So he had a torn labrum.
If the Blazers are in basketball playoff contention, kind of still playing for something, they're still playing basketball is what I meant to say. He comes back. If the Blazers are tanking by then, he's done, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised. Ooh, block. And then Nurkic's going to come back supposedly after All-Star break. Maybe a little bit sooner with the...
I doubt. How many games are till All-Star break? 9 or 10?
Yeah, something like that.
So, man, if the Blazers can go 6-3 on this little trip right here until Nurk gets back, that'd be nice.
I don't think so.
That'd be nice. We are playing against tough teams. Dallas twice, San Antonio, New Orleans. it's going to be tough. But we'll see. I mean, Portland has done this before in the past. The problem is it's getting annoying. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that before we got Yusuf Nurkic, we weren't a playoff team. We got him. We made the playoffs that year. You know, same thing happened the year before with LaMarcus Aldridge skipped out of town. It gets annoying. You don't want to be the 7th, 8th seed and try and luck out against the 1st or 2nd seed. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, when Trevor Ariza trade happened, we started rubbing our hands going, okay, where are we going with our draft picks? Right now, we have a 1% chance to get the number 1 draft pick. Fun fact.
Right. So we'd be the 13th pick in the draft right now, which is not valuable in this upcoming.
Yeah, is that weird? Like, you want to be at the very top or you want to be on the bottom of the mountain? You don't want to be stuck in the woods with the wolves, you know?
Exactly, in the middle somewhere. And I don't know what Portland's going to do. Obviously, they still want to... They've already kind of prepared with next year with this trade.
Mm-hmm.
But if Hassan... Like I said, Hassan Whiteside can't be a Portland Trailblazer in 2 weeks. He just can't.
And if he's there, we just wasted so much money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, but let's be real. Hassan Whiteside, he gets paid $27 million.
Mm-hmm.
When he got that contract, that's what the NBA was about.
Yes, in 2016 when the salary cap flew. But at the same time, no owner in history would give Evan Turner a max contract. That's exactly what Neil O'Shea did.
Yeah.
Hassan Whiteside wasn't the problem. I would have gave that contract to Hassan as well.
No, for sure. You know, during that time, in those circumstances, Hassan Whiteside would have gotten that contract. But now he's gonna be a free agent this season. Obviously, his most value right now is if we trade him. But like,
because we can't keep him.
There's no way. Yeah, we can't keep him. But there's no way that if we send him off to a team, they're gonna offer him nearly that much. So we're at a weird spot of how much can we actually get for Whiteside right now?
I think it might be one of those things where if you find the right situation, because like you pointed out earlier today, Dwight Powell's out for the rest of the year in Dallas, and they need a center. Whiteside's a guy that would fit in Dallas. He would honestly fit there. Boston was another place you brought up where he would fit as well. They don't play much defense, but when you get a guy that blocks shots and rebounds and can just give you those outlet passes so you can go,
mm-hmm.
that's all you need.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to chuck the ball down the court. You literally grab, you give it to one of those fast wings like
Jaylen Brown, Hayward,
yeah,
Luka Doncic. And so maybe we strike gold with one of those teams. Maybe it's just Cleveland. Maybe it's Cleveland for Kevin Love so they can finally rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do with Whiteside. It just depends who's out there buying right now.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing. We don't know. We see the rumors all the time about Andre Drummond, about the Hawks, about the Lakers every other day. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I do like Whiteside. I think he's a great character. It's just sometimes when you're watching him, you're like, man, this guy has his style of play and that's what he's so good at. But we just need more in a certain way.
I agree. And we've also grown accustomed to Yusuf Nurkic and what he brings to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you know, there's other teams struggling right now. So maybe Whiteside will stay, but maybe CJ will be gone.
Exactly.
Like they took a massive loss today against Toronto. They kind of got smacked.
And Philly.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're talking about. Philly. Yeah. Lost to Toronto. I would do a CJ for Ben Simmons trade in a heartbeat.
Oh, with Tobias Harris.
I think I would do that as well.
Yeah.
I think I would.
107 to 95.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. A lot of people are forecasting a really quiet trade deadline, but I hope not.
Which is weird because the offseason is
supposed to be really quiet as well.
Yeah. This might be the most boring offseason. Like last year, maybe we just got too spoiled and like every day was like a blockbuster thing, and then at the very end, Kawhi,
Davis, Kevin Durant, Kawhi, yeah, that was by far one of the greatest NBA free agencies of all time. It definitely won't be like that this offseason. So I mean, you would think the trade deadline would be maybe we get LaMarcus Aldridge back.
Rumors are that he goes to the Heat.
I saw that as well. DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge both getting shopped.
Yeah, and you know,
but who would they give up? That's kind of a weird question. Justice Winslow, maybe?
Well, San Antonio is going to be rebuilding. Justin Winslow, I think they like Justin Winslow over there.
He does fit their system, yeah.
But there's a good chance that, you know, they have some weird contracts over there that they can give up.
Myers is another one.
Does Myers have 2 years or 1 year left?
1 year. This was last year.
Okay.
Boy, I wish we had Myers.
30-point game against the Warriors.
Could have used that last time.
So before we end off, what do the Blazers do against the Mavs?
I mean, first of all, stop their offense. Their offense is really, really good. Anytime when you have a guy like Luka making passes, going left and right, giving the ball to Seth Curry, who's been shooting phenomenal, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight Powell is obviously hurt, but next man to mind.
Well, who's the owner of the
Mark
Mavs?
Cuban.
Mark Cuban. He said that Dwight Powell is literally the glue of the team, and with him out and injured, you're going to see the same style for the most part, but you're going to see a guy trying to fill in those shoes, and there's a good chance.
Maxi Kleber has been playing.
Maxi Kleber's been good, yeah. But he's going to be filling in for Powell, and obviously they're not going to be the same without him, kind of like how we were with Nurk and with Enes Kanter. But it's going to be a great opportunity for the Trailblazers to try to dominate in paint with Whiteside and try to do a little bit better.
And Porzingis is back as well, but he's not the greatest defender either. So.
No. And then they haven't planned the power forward because centers do get beat up a little bit more often. So
I do expect a high-scoring game, tons of back-and-forth action. That's for sure going to be very little defense. But it should be a good one. Hopefully, if Portland can get that one, chemistry goes up a little bit. Trevor Ariza maybe looks good. Mm-hmm. Melo's been a little quiet lately, so it'd be nice to see some more out of him. Although he has been pretty efficient.
This will be a home game for us, so we'll have home court advantage, which here in Portland, it feels like that's a huge advantage for us. And maybe with Powell out, some chemistry with Maxi Kleber. It's too hot.
Boban too.
Oh, Boban.
I'll get to see Boban tomorrow. Well,
nice.
That'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting to see. I'm a Luka Doncic fanboy. I don't know. He's got to be my favorite player in the NBA right now.
He isn't my favorite player, but like when he's like in town, you're like, okay, this guy's good. Let's give his props.
No, exactly, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think that should wrap it up. Till next time.
Next time, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
Super Bowl's not for 2 weeks. We won't talk about that yet.
Yeah. Next, we're going to talk about LaMarcus Aldridge becoming a 3-point shooter.
And a Trailblazer, hopefully.
Hopefully. All right. Peace, guys.